Today we're going to make Indian fry bread. If you love getting Indian fry bread at the fair, this recipe is for you. You're going to be shocked because it's only 3 ingredients to make. You just need flour, salt, baking powder, and some water. We don't really count that as an ingredient. But 3 ingredients and some water, and it's really easy to make at home, and you're going to be shocked because it actually tastes better than what you can get at the fair. Hi, I'm Carrie with eatingonadime.com, and we're on a mission to help families eat well on a budget, and you're going to love today's recipe. It is perfect for gatherings or just a fun dinner at home. You're going to find the full recipe linked in the description, or you can always just go to eatingonadime.com and then search Indian fry bread. Okay, let's go show you how easy this is to make. First, we're going to start with 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Now, when you're measuring flour, there's kind of a trick if you don't know this when you're baking. You're going to want to scoop the flour, but don't pack it in. Once you get to the top, you're going to want to scrape off the excess with a knife or like a back of a spoon. I kind of didn't do this well. There we go. That way you get a perfectly measured 1 cup. If you actually go in and pack it on the sides, you're going to have too much flour, and that's what's going to result in kind of a thicker fry bread, and that's true for any recipe that you're baking with. You don't want to pack in your flour when you measure it. So that we have that, we're going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, and you do want to pack this in, so you scoop it up and then flatten it out on the top. And then a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Then we want to mix it in together just to get that well incorporated. And we're going to add 1 cup of warm water. Now don't just dump all this water in. We're going to do a little bit at a time to get that nice dough consistency. You want it not room temperature. You want it slightly more above room temperature, so you don't want it hot. You just want it warm. We usually just run the faucet and make it warm. But if you don't want to do that, you could toss it in the microwave for a few seconds just to take the chill off. Once it's formed into a nice ball, you'll know you're ready to go. We're just going to let this sit for 5 minutes, and then we're ready to roll it out. Now that it's been 5 minutes, we're just going to lightly flour a surface for us to roll this out on. So I'm going to take that ball of dough, put it in the middle, and then I'm going to put just a little bit of flour on top and kind of press it in so we don't get stuck when we're rolling it out. Now we're just going to lightly roll this out, that way we can cut it up into equal 6 pieces. To cut it into 6, we're just going, and it doesn't have to be exact. I cut it in half the long ways, and then we're just going to cut it into 3rds. So we got that done, so we're just going to separate these pieces out to the side, and then we're just working 1 piece at a time. I like to kind of roll it into a little ball, and then we're going to roll that out. I'm just using the flour to make sure it doesn't stick. You're going to want it about a 1/2 inch thick, and they will puff up and expand when you fry them. We want to make sure we test the oil. We want the oil to be heated to be about 350 to 375. So this oil is looking good. We're probably going to turn it down just a little bit, and we're ready to fry. Now we're going to take one of our breads and just place it right in the middle. And we're going to let it fry for about a few minutes until it begins to brown. And as you'll see, it's going to start floating to the top as it cooks. And that's perfectly okay. You don't want to overcrowd the pan, and you want to make sure you're using metal tongs when it's time to flip. We could easily fit another one in here, but we're just going to fry one at a time just since we're making a video. Now that the edges are beginning to brown, you can see right there, it's time to flip. It's only taking about 2 to 3 minutes to cook on each side. It's ready now. You can see it's nice and brown. We're going to take a plate that we have lined in with a paper towel to let it sit right on top. Now what I like to say is this is kind of like pancakes. Your first one is always a wonky. So that one was a little bit thicker than what I liked. So I rolled my next one out just a little bit thinner, and they get better the more you cook. So see, you can start seeing this one poof up like we like, just because I rolled it out just a little bit thinner. And again, you just need 2 to 3 minutes. When these edges start to brown, that's when we're going to flip it. So you can see here it's starting to brown, and it's perfect and ready to flip. And you can also tell when it's time to flip because it's really easy to flip. Just another 2 to 3 minutes on this side, and this one will be done. Okay, this one is ready. Beautiful on both sides. And we're going to transfer it to our paper towel plate. And that's how easy it is to make Indian fry bread at home. So how do you use it? How do you eat it? So multiple options. You have the savory, where you can make Indian fry bread tacos that I know you're really familiar with, and it's just where you top all your favorite tacos, seasonings and everything on top, toppings. But you can do any kind of savory, shredded chicken, barbecue chicken, any kind of savories, almost like making them into little pizzas. It's super good, but they're also great for sweet. You can sprinkle them with cinnamon and sugar for a fun little dessert or for breakfast, and you can also serve them with butter and like jelly or jam, and it's super delicious at breakfast as well. The great thing about it is these freeze great. So you can actually freeze them and then just reheat them. I like to pop them in like a toaster so they get nice and crispy on the outside, and that way you can reheat them for future dinners or breakfast. So it's a great way when you're just wanting to use up your leftovers. So I hope this inspired you to make some Indian fry bread. I think you're going to love it. I'm going to try a little bite. I'm really pumped to try it out. You can get the full recipe linked in the description, or you can just go to eatingonadime.com and search Indian fry bread. Thanks so much for joining me. I will see you next time in my kitchen, but don't forget, like and subscribe. I don't want you to miss any more of our family-friendly recipes. I'll see you next time. Bye, friends. Oh yeah, that's good.